Hi, this is Alex Fernandez with Bud and Doug Walters Auto Sales here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Today I'll be doing a video going over the primary features inside of this 2017 Ford Escape Titanium. We'll begin by talking about the touchscreen here in the dash, and then we'll work our way down to the buttons down below. We'll move down to the climate controls, and then over to the steering wheel. Some of the buttons we have there, along with the screen up in the gauge cluster. Some switches we have here to the left side, and then just a couple of things up above us there. Coming back to the touchscreen. Right now the page we're seeing is the home page. You access that by pushing this home button up in the top left corner. If we enter into a different function, pressing that always takes us back to seeing this view where we have access to the navigation, our audio, and pairing up a phone. Along the bottom of the screen we have the different apps. We have audio, phone, navigation, this apps section, which if we were using things like Apple Carplay or Android Auto, that would be displayed there as well. And then we have settings is the last one. To begin, we'll go into audio. We can press that either down there at the bottom, or we could press within its section on that home page. You'll see here we're listening to FM. We have our source menu at the top. We can change between AM, FM, satellite, CD, or Bluetooth, whatever is available that way. We have our presets here along the bottom. To set a preset, simply push and hold and wait for the beep, and it will save that preset there for you. And there are a couple banks of presets there, 1, 2, and auto store. Up in the top right hand corner we have a direct tune keypad. From that we can type in a station number directly and jump right to it. Just as a quicker, easier way to get from station to station if you don't have it saved in your favorites or in your presets. Down below here we have some buttons that control some of these radio functions. We have the power button here. We have a source button here. Pressing that will cycle between the different available sources and bring us to their respective preset lists. In the middle here we have volume. We have tuning buttons, top and bottom, to move just a single decimal point per press, and we have seek buttons on either side, which will jump to the next available station. On the right side we have the eject button for the CD player, just up top there. We have sound button, which opens the treble, mid-range, and bass, balance and fade settings, as well as speed compensated volume and what sound mode we're in, whether that's stereo or surround. And you can adjust those settings as you deem fit. Down below here we also have the hazard lights and this display button, which simply just turns off the screen. So if you're driving at night, you don't have that brightness if you're not wanting it on. Going back to the home page here, we're going to go next to phone. We go this section here. We have no phones in the system right now, nothing paired up or added. To add a device,
on your device,
simply press that add device or add phone prompt, and then on your device in your Bluetooth settings, begin searching for Ford Escape. Select it once it appears, and then it will give you some prompts that you'll accept to begin the pairing process. Doing so will sync up your contacts and your call history, and if your phone is compatible, you'll also be able to display things like your text messages when they come through, and it will read them out to you when that comes through, if it's compatible. Next function is navigation. We open that up, we see a map display. To enter our address, or our destination, we're going to push that destination button in the bottom left, and you'll see we have a couple different ways to search for a destination. We can search. Doing that will allow us to type in an address, a city, a point of interest, or an intersection. We can set up and save home address, work address, as well as favorites for regularly accessed addresses. This previous destinations category will keep track of the destinations you've used in the past and save them for you so you can come back to them if necessary. And along the bottom there, we have our points of interest categories. And you can see here, there's a couple different categories available there, and you can search either nearby your area, or you can search if you have a destination set along your route or near your destination, or we can just look in a particular city as well. When you enter an address in, the vehicle will give you turn-by-turn voice prompts that will let you kind of keep your eyes on the road while you're driving and still be able to navigate where you're trying to go. Coming back to that home page, we talked about apps a little bit, but what that allows us to do is we have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto available in this vehicle. We access those functions by plugging in either an Android or an Apple phone, and we plug that into the USB port down below. Once plugged in, using Apple CarPlay, that is built into the iPhone, and the vehicle will pull up that application right on the screen of the car here, which allows you to interact with your phone calls, text messages, music, podcasts, calendar, and events, as well as any navigation app that you use on your phone, such as Apple Maps, or Google Maps, or Waze, or anything like that. Android Auto offers the same functionality, but does require you to download the Android Auto app from the Google Play Store. Once you've installed that, you'll walk through the setup process the first time that you connect it to the vehicle. Moving down here to the climate control, we have dual zone climate control. We have driver's side temperature here on this left dial, and on the right side passenger temperature, and you'll see those displayed just in that screen display there. We have fan speed on either side of the screen to decrease and increase it. Within the driver's side dial, we have auto mode. When pressed, the vehicle will take over fan speed and vent location and things like that to get to the temperature that you've set. So basically it'll do what is necessary to set the temperature and maintain the temperature that you've asked for. We have heated seats here for driver and passenger. We have the power button for the climate control, max front defroster button, which is basically just a shortcut to turn the fan speed all the way up and set the fan location to the defroster for the front. Right in the middle here, we have the different vent locations. We can set that to be any combination of the bottom vents, the top set of vents, and the front defroster, and you can mix and match all three of those. To the right, we have the front defroster, or rear defroster, a recirculate mode, a max AC button, which again is kind of a shortcut. Turns the temperature all the way down, turns the fan speed all the way up, and turns on air conditioning and recirculate modes for you all at once. And then we have air conditioning within the passenger side dial. Because this system is dual zone, the passenger can have a different temperature than the driver. Right now they are paired up. If the temperature on the passenger side needs to be changed, simply rotate that dial, and they're now no longer paired. If you want them to pair back up, simply turn the climate control off and right back on, and you'll see that the driver's side now has control of both zones. Beneath the climate control, we just have an indicator here for this passenger airbag. The passenger seat, if there's nobody present in the seat, the airbag is off. As soon as the vehicle senses enough weight in that seat, it will turn that airbag on. We have the off switch for the auto start stop. When you're driving the vehicle and you come up to a stop at a stoplight or stop sign and you come to a stop, the vehicle will turn the engine off to conserve fuel and reduce emissions as well. You can turn that function off by simply turning that button to that position there. To the right of that, we have the traction control off switch, which is on by default every time you start the vehicle. And that's just an off switch in case you needed to turn it off. Looking at the steering wheel, we have controls here for volume for the audio. You'll see that there. We have seek buttons here, which cycle through our presets. So on the radio, if we've saved presets, those buttons will cycle through that list. They also will function as the button to answer an incoming call, hang up, or decline a call, and that's when a phone call is coming in or active. Otherwise, they will be the preset switching buttons. And right in the middle, we have a switch to activate the voice command system for the vehicle. So when we have a phone paired up or a device paired, you're able to give voice prompts to place a call, to one of your contacts or a particular phone number or anything like that. Behind the wheel here on the right side, we have this little paddle with a plus sign. On the opposite side, there's a paddle but with a minus sign. That is for manually shifting gears, and if we put the vehicle into sport, you'll see on the screen there, if we squeeze that plus sign paddle, it takes us to second gear. If we squeeze the minus sign, that downshifts us to first gear. So the plus sign would upshift and the minus sign would downshift in that sport gear, sport mode there. Behind that, we have our windshield wipers. Click down for a single swipe. Click up for intermittent, which you can then adjust using this ring here. We have low speed, and finally high speed. The rear wiper is right on the end of the stalk here. It's in the off position right now. That's the intermittent position, and that's the full on position where it will be a consistent sweeps back there. To do the spray for the windshield wipers, pull the stalk towards you for the front spray and push that stalk away from you for the rear spray. Looking at the left side of the wheel, we have a control pad with left and right, up and down arrows here, as well as an OK button. That's going to control that screen in the gauge cluster. Pressing the left arrow takes us back to the menu where we can choose what set of information we're displaying there. Press OK to select it. We have trip 1, trip 2 there, and you'll see when selected we can scroll through different sets of information for this section. If we hold down the OK button, it's going to reset all those trip 1 values for us. So if you're going on a new trip, you can restart that, reset that as necessary. But you'll notice we have a brief view of average miles per gallon, distance traveled, instant miles per gallon, and distance to empty. We have digital speed, trip odometer, average fuel economy, instant fuel economy, a distance to empty, and a trip timer there. We have the same set of information in there available for trip 2. So if you want one for a separate trip, you have 2 slots there for that. Going back to the left, we go down to information. That shows us things like the all-wheel drive readout, showing where the power's going, which wheels it's going to. And settings allows us to change some vehicle settings and turning off things like the blind spot monitoring system or rear cross traffic controls in there. Looking back at the face of the steering wheel, you have an on-off switch for your cruise control. Push the on switch and you'll see that message displayed there. Once you have the cruise on and you're up to speed, push set, either one, plus or minus, to set your speed. Once you've set the speed, if you'd like to speed up, push the plus sign. If you'd like to slow down, push the minus sign. And then we have cancel and resume buttons there. Behind the steering wheel on the left side, we have our blinkers, as well as our brights. Push away to turn on, and pull towards to flash them. Looking here at the dash, we have our headlight controls. Headlights are automatic, set in that position now. Come on at night as necessary and turn off during the day. We also have fog lights here, button to open and close the powered liftgate, and then brightness adjustment for the interior instrument lighting, in case that was too bright or too dim for you. Looking at the side of the door here, we have our door lock and unlock buttons, as well as 3 driver's seat memory preset buttons. The idea being you can set your seating position, simply push and hold the button and wait for the beep, and it will save that position so it is available to you if anybody moves the seat or if you have different people driving the vehicle. On the door here we have window lock, window switches, and then our mirror adjustments here. Simply move that toggle to the left or to the right, and then use the control pad to move the wheel. Remove the mirrors as necessary. Up above we have a universal garage door opener, programmable buttons up here, so you can program your remote to use these buttons, so that way you don't have to keep your remote in the vehicle with you. And then up in the middle here we have a sunglasses case and dome lights just on either side there. One last thing is the parking brake. It is electronic. Pull up on the bottom of it like so to engage it, and with your foot on the brake pedal, push on the top to disengage it. Those are the primary features of this 2017 Ford Escape. If you have any more questions, please refer to us at waltersautos.com or call 269-375-7008 with any further questions or to make an appointment to see something. Thank you.